So Michael Hill, a North Carolina man, was, recently sentenced to many years in jail for killing a 23-year-old girl. No, this man is in his 50s, going on to 60s, and he was dating a 23-year-old girl. No, this man is also a lottery winner. He won $10 million in the state scratch and win lottery jackpot. You know what I mean? And that is why he was able to get a 23-year-old girl. And this goes back to something that I talk about all the time about females putting in little work but expect to have a life of lavish. You know what I mean? Like, just put in the work, grind. Just like our dude will grind, even though some dudes still do immoral things for money. You know what I mean? But it's better to do the slow grind, and in the end you have your life, than to basically put yourself on the chopping block for old men like this bum right here. To basically have sex with you for you to get a come up. Not saying this dude is right or whatever. What they say is that he was, going through her phone messages and he saw where she was messaging other men and he got into his feelings and he decided to, kill the young lady, which is very weak of this man. No, tell me, if you are a lottery winner, you're worth $10 million. You can get any woman you want. Because as I just said a minute ago, a lot of these women, they have put themselves on the chopping block just like that, just for what you can give them. So just spend the money, have your way with as many as you wish, using your money. You don't have to go into a relationship, trick yourself that these women want you because you are all of a sudden desirable. You weren't desirable yesterday. So not because you win the lottery today means that you're automatically desirable. Some of you men allow women, to trick you that, he's not very handsome, but he has nice toenails. He's not very handsome, but he has nice ways. A lot of you men tend to trick yourself that all of a sudden you are, this handsome fella because you have money. A lot of artists, a lot of ball players have made the same mistakes. Dudes that weren't anything in high school, they weren't anything in elementary school, there weren't anything on the streets. But as soon as they get in the reach of some money and the females start flocking because of the money, they assume that they are the pull factor. They assume that all of a sudden they are now saucy. Like, be real with yourselves, man. Be real with yourselves. What would a 23-year-old be doing with you? As a matter of fact, what are you doing with a 23-year-old? I am now in my 20s, And I remember the first time dating a 22-year-old. And I felt so uncomfortable. And I'm a young guy. I was in my 20s at the time, and I still felt, as if I was a big brother, as if I should be protecting this girl. And I was like, nah, I can't be dating any 21-year-old, 22-year-old because they are so mentally immature. So what says a 50-year-old man? Go and look somebody your own size, somebody in their 40s, somebody in their 50s. When I was a child, a grown man dated my ex-girlfriend at the time. And then as a child, I wasn't really reading into it deeply, but now as a grown man and going through the experience that I went through dating a 21, 22-year-old girl, I'm like, what fun could he have had dating a 16-year-old, 17-year-old at the time? That was creepy. And to this day, I still look at that situation as creepy. A lot of you grown men ought to be ashamed of yourself, and you deserve to get your heart broken like this by younger women. because you don't want to be with your own age group. You want to prey on young minds. Say you want a young girl and you're in your 40s, your 50s. You can get a woman that is in her 40s, one that doesn't have a lot of children, or one that is in her late 30s, but to go all the way down to 21, 22, 23, like, that's a shame on you, man. That's tacky as hell. How would you feel if a grown ass man was dating your little daughter? So RIP to the young lady that lost her life. But let this be a lesson to you other females, desist from dating these old washed up men for their money. It's better to do the slow grind, and you will end up having your life. You get what I'm saying? Instead of putting your vagina on the chopping blocks for older men for money. Females, I don't know what makes female gravitate towards money so much to the point where a lot of them, not all, will do anything for money. And it can't be like that. It can't be like that. There has to be a cutoff point. There has to be a boundary. You can't just do anything for money and sleep with anyone for money like that. And a lot of you bum ass men with money, you will find out in due time that money can't buy love. A lot of you bum ass artists, bum ass athletes with money, you will realize in short order that money cannot buy love, and that these women are using you. These women use you as pawns, using their body, to trick you out of your wealth. You're going to find out the hard way and stop. Oh, I am this, I am a womanizer. No, I am a Casanova. I am one with the ladies. I'm so handsome. Like recently I saw where some females were saying Skilly Bang, dancehall artist Skilly Bang is handsome and could be a model. Skilly Bang is one of the most ugly dancehall artists from this era. But because he has come in contact with some money, all of a sudden females are trying to get in his head because they want to get the bag. I'm out.